Alright guys, I have some pretty exciting news. I'm traveling with a couple of my friends to Flip City Disc Golf Park this weekend. For those of you who may or may not know, Flip City is the top rated disc golf course on discgolfcoursereview.com. Ever since Flyboy Aviation came off the list, Flip City was number 2, now it's back up to number 1. I'm super excited about getting to go play this weekend. So I'm going to do a bag update because my bag has changed a little bit since the last time that I talked, and I figured going to Flip City is a pretty good reason to do a bag update. So here we go. I'm putting with Organic Wizards. This one is my main putter. This one's my upshot putter. It's black. It's a little bit deeper than this one. I'm not sure. It might be because of the stamp. The stamp on this one's really big and the stamp on this one's very small. But this one is a little bit thinner, and it just kind of feels better in my hand for putting. I push putt or pitch putt. I don't like the term push putt because I think it's a little confusing to beginning players. But I pitch putt, so the shallower rim and the thinner profile feels a little bit better. So those are my putters. Organic Wizards. If you've never tried one, like maybe you've putt with Wizards your whole life, you putt with like softs or super softs, or that's what you putt with now, try an Organic. They start off very stiff, but they break in real nice and erasery, really tacky when it gets a little warmer out. I love them. I'll have one in my bag for forever. I have 3 nukes. I have this ESP 168 gram nuke, which is my go-to nuke right now, replacing what was my go-to, which is my X nuke. This is now very, very understable. If it's a strong tailwind, I'll bomb this thing. Even hyzer flipping it really doesn't do much. It still goes really hard right. So maybe I just need to buy another X and beat it up a little bit, because for a while this X was at such a sweet spot. I've never had a driver behave like this has before. It was a great disc for me for a long time. And then now I also have this Z nuke from the Jaybird Players Cup Quinvitational last year. If you're from Michigan and you play in tournaments, chances are you played at a Jaybird tournament. They put on great events, so I got one of these. Those are my nukes. Generally probably my go-to major distance discs, but recently I've actually been throwing a lot of forces. I have these 2 forces. Now I've had this ESP one for a while. In ideal conditions, I pull this out pretty much most often. If there's a little wind, it gets a little bit squirrely. It turns a little bit more than I would like it to, but then that's why I got this Z Force. It's 174 grams, I believe, so it's a little bit heavier. It works really well. I like it. It's a really good complement to this force in keeping the consistency of molds. So forces are great discs. Then I have this bottom stamped Star Destroyer still. This is my wind fighting disc that I want when I go for max distance and need to fight a medium wind, a soft to medium headwind. I'll pull this disc out. Then I have this Flex Surge that I really don't throw very much. It's gotten flippy. I should probably invest in a Z Surge because I like the mold, the Surge mold, but the Flex plastic has just gotten a little bit flippy even at 175 grams. But at lower power, for some low power like tunnel drives where I really want to push one out there but have to keep it low and keep it controlled, still a good disc, and I still keep it in the bag because I do pull it out on enough occasions to have it be worthwhile. Then I have this Star T-Bird that I've had for a while with a dynamic disc stamp on it. But then I picked up one of these new Champion TL Pluses, and I really like it. The first throw I ever threw with it, I parked a 300-foot hole, so I was like, boom, in the bag right away. And it's really good. It doesn't fight a headwind quite as well as the T-Birds do, but T-Birds don't. I mean, if I'm going to throw into a headwind, I'm probably not going to throw a T-Bird anyway. But it's a really great control disc. I use it for kind of finesse forehands to get out of trouble sometimes too. It's a great disc. If you like the TLs in Star Plastic, you'll probably like them in Champ Plastic even more. Then I got this Stratus X that I've had for a long time. I'm using this as a mid-range right now to shape some really awesome lines that I thought were next to impossible before. Just powering it down, using a fan grip, and putting it on a little bit of a hyzer snap, letting it turn over, work lines through woods and stuff. Especially as I'm playing some more wooded holes, this is going to be one of my more used discs. It's in X plastic, so it'll probably become a piece of crap before too long. Might have to invest in another one, but hey, they're cheap. So And I got this Z Predator. This is my serious headwind disc. If I really need to fight wind, just don't even have to think about it. Pull out the Pred, give it a whip. Sometimes I'll flex it for distance if I know that I really need to be certain that it's going to come back left and come back left hard over water sometimes or something. I'll put it on a touch of an anhyzer and let it flex around for a little extra distance. But mostly I throw this just dead into the wind and just watch it hold the line better than any disc that I've ever seen in my life. If you don't have, if you live in windy places, or if you have a gap in your bag for something just crazy overstable, go for a Predator. A lot of people throw Banshees from Innova. You're not going to match the Pred. It's fantastic. It's a great disc. So pick one up. Z Plastic for sure. And I got this Goldline River still a bread and butter disc. Fit the spot for my EchoStar Leopard when I took that out of the bag and traded it away. I love the Goldline plastic. It's beautiful. It turns a little bit, never flips over, but gives me a nice little hyzer flip. Flips up, flies straight, and glides forever. Really good control fairway mid. And then I have this the PDGA Stalker from this year. Don't really throw it very much. Nice kind of flex shots that, you know, if I pop it up on an anhyzer, it flattens out and rides a flat line for a good while. But I really don't throw this very much. I could probably take it out if I really wanted to, but I just keep it around for right now. On to the mids. My mid-range game is probably as good as it's ever been, and I have, let's see here, 3, 6, 7 mid-range discs that I use, and I use them all pretty consistently. I've familiarized myself with the molds and know exactly what to throw and when to throw it. And I've reaped the benefits. I shot one of my PR rounds just today, a practice round at a place where I'm going to be playing in a tournament next month. So I'm very happy with where my mid-range game is right now. I'm throwing a Vector, max weight, 180 gram Vector. This thing is one of the most overstable discs I've ever seen. It's right up there with Predators in overstability, but it's in a mid-range mold. The gyroscopic technology that MVP uses on their discs really provides flight path capabilities that you wouldn't normally get out of mid-range discs. So if you haven't tried a Vector or an Axis yet, or even an Ion if you're looking for a new putter, try MVP Plastic. They're a Michigan company, so that's why I like them. But they make great products, so try one out. And I have this ESP Wasp. I think I've had this one for a while. It might have been in my last bag update. I'm not really sure. But this thing, for a while, was taking the spot of my go-to mid-range over any of my buzzes. It was because I was playing in the early spring. It was a little bit windier. This thing fights headwinds and fades predictably. It's a great disc. Probably want to get one in Z Plastic here pretty soon. But for now, I have this ESP, and I'm happy with it. Then I have my 3 buzzes. I got this blue Z Buzz 170 gram. It's a good anhyzer buzz for me. Just today when I was playing again, I was telling you I utilize all 3 of these buzzes really well. This one of the best anhyzer discs I've ever seen. Just holds it, flattens out, never fights back necessarily, just kind of flattens out and rides it, and maybe even gives you a little bit of roll at the end. Max weight, newer Z Buzz, the most overstable of the bunch. Doesn't really turn a whole lot, finishes well. Fights wind okay, but if there's any wind, I'm probably just going to throw my Wasp or my Vector, but still a good buzz. And then the new titanium plastic buzz. This one was one of the ones that Nate Doss himself actually signed, but I had to throw it, and the signature wore off pretty quick. I like to think that the signature was absorbed by the disc, and some of Nate Doss's awesomeness is now imparted onto the disc. That's not true. I don't really think that, obviously. But it's color shift, which is really awesome. When you're walking up to it on the ground, it looks purple, and then you stand right above it, and it looks blue. I like this buzz a lot. It's got a little bit more turn than my max weight Z. It's a perfect anhyzer disc when I do want it to fight back a little bit. It's probably my go-to mid-range right now, this TI buzz. I like it a lot. Pick one up. Try the TI Stalker. It's a really beautiful plastic, obviously, and it's true to mold stability, so I love it. And then I put the Star Mako back in the bag for now, just for a little extra control on some longer distances, and I put it back in the bag because I had this Comet to try and take the Mako's place, but the Comet gets a little glidey on some situations and can get away from the basket a little more than I'd like it to. Still a great disc, and I still throw this a lot. I like the Comet because it does have that extra glide, and a lot of the times, if you have a long approach shot. It'll glide a little bit further and give you actually a chance to hit chains, but won't go too far where it's a unmanageable comeback putt. But then there are times where if you go too long, you'll get into trouble. So I put this Mako back in the bag. Well, that's my bag. All my discs. Like I said, I'm going to Flip City this week and this weekend. Super pumped about it. Fade gear, great products, cheap bag, and it's held up like a champ for me this spring. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the bag update. If you have ever played Flip City and have any opinions or any stories, comment section below, or find me on Twitter. I'm at Tori LaFoon. I love to talk disc golf on Twitter if you're on Twitter, or I'm always on the forums at discgolfcoursereview.com. So thanks for watching again, guys. Take it easy.